Hey guys, Dan here with Battlefield Curator, and I just restored a World War II German Carabiner 98k, starting with a barreled action to a full rifle, spending just under $500. Let me share with you the details of this amazing build project. Alright, this Mod 98 was nothing but a barreled action, and it was sold to me from a local gun shop who got it in with a bunch of other random things. And I said, hey, I could probably rebuild that. It might be a little pricey, but I could probably do it. Now, this barreled action did not have a bolt. It had a broken rear tang screw stuck in there, which was no issue to get out, honestly. Looking at the barreled action, it had a bunch of Waffen amps, and it was not import marked. So I took a poll on Instagram, and I asked everybody, what do you think it would cost to complete the build? And most of you, 68%, said over $500. Only 32% of you thought I could do it under $500. First things first, I had to compile a parts list to figure out what I was missing. So when I started researching all the parts and trying to price everything out, I realized that the bolts and the stock sets just themselves were selling for around $400 to $500 on eBay. Now, I was not very confident I was going to be able to complete this build under $500. Well, coincidentally, I did find a bolt on Sarco's website, and Sarco Parts, they had a complete bolt, and I found some other parts, and the bolt was just around 90 bucks. Well, it was a Turkish bolt, but it would do the job. My only concern was that it wouldn't headspace. Alright, next, I had to search for a stock set, and I was still kind of in search of a bolt. So with the stock and the bolts being the most expensive of all the parts I would need to finish the build, I went to see if I can outsource them locally. So I gave some of my Milsurp collecting buddies a call, and one guy actually introduced me to another elder gentleman who runs a table at local gun shows. He said he had the parts, and he didn't know if he had the bolt, but he said he for sure had the stocks. He had multiple stocks. So I went to his place and rummaged around, and we found the stocks, but he could not find a bolt. The stock was hideous. The other stock was not the proper Mod 98 stock, but it was a large ring Mauser stock, and the action did fit in it. Now, going back to the stock that is a Mod 98 stock, we realized that it had been shellacked, and somebody decided to put a bunch of glue or something in the sling mount, and they added and screwed in their own rear sling mount. Honestly, this stock was hideous, but I figured, hey, this would complete the build, and I might have to go in there and dig all this stuff out and get rid of that shellac. We negotiated a little bit and came out to 50 bucks for both stocks. Hey, that worked out for me. All right, so not being able to find a bolt, I just ended up ordering a bolt off of Sarco's website. Now, this was a Turkish bolt, and it had a bent down handle. It's not original to the Mod 98s, but this would suffice for the build. My only concern would be that it wouldn't headspace, and then I would probably just resort to buying one on eBay if it did not headspace. I bought the bolt and some parts off Sarco. I also went to find some parts on Century Arms International. I found some parts on Liberty Tree Collectors. I found some parts on Numeric. Essentially, I accumulated parts from all these different websites. Alright, so next, what I did was I took the stock and the rear side where that sling swivel was screwed and glued. I started chipping away with it with a chisel, and surprisingly it was actually easy to get out. All it was some Acraglass, kind of just put on top around where the sling swivel was screwed into, and then the rest of it was glued in with some kind of wood glue and sawdust. And because the adhesiveness of the wood glue and sawdust didn't actually stick to the stock, most of it just popped right out on both sides. And whoever did this put some kind of like paper towel scrunched up in there just so that the glue probably wouldn't seep in there. At this point now, I was also left with 2 holes that the screws went into. Now I started to try to work on that stock and get that shellac off. It was a very tedious process. What I first started using was clear tape, then I went to grip tape. Grip tape seemed to be a little strong. It's kind of like duct tape, but for the movie making industry. So then I went back to the clear tape, and I kind of just peeled off all the shellac on the metal parts and on the wood stock. Now with the stronger tapes like the duct tape or the grip tape, now that was, I could see that was pulling off some of the splinters in the wood, so that is why I stopped using that. But this was a pretty effective way to get all those layers, those top layers of shellac off. All right, so the leftover shellac, I was gonna have to go in there with some kind of chemical compound to remove the remaining bits. So on the metal, I found that the carburetor cleaner was the best option. I was hesitant to use the carburetor cleaner on the stock, but after some trials with some other chemical components, mineral spirits, paint remover, and a denatured alcohol, I realized that the carburetor cleaner was probably the best option, so I liberally used it to clean off that residue. Now what I realized was I needed to use a special technique, so I would spray an area that there was shellac. I would wait just a few seconds for it to kind of dry, where it kind of turned into like a gumminess. So I just scrubbed away at that gumminess of shellac, and it kind of just rubbed off. And then also what I realized, there were still markings under all that shellac. So now with the stock completely stripped of all that shellac, now what I did was I took some walnuts and I rubbed the walnuts over all the wood. It would just give it some moisturizer and give it some life. So now I had to plug those 2 holes. I ended up getting some wood dowels and gluing them in there, and then chopping them off, and then using the walnuts to kind of blend them in. I don't think they really came out that great. Probably could have done a little better job with this, but the sling installed should cover it up. And also there's a little chunk missing out of there that somebody kind of just chipped away. So eventually, if I want to get it restored, it would cover up that hole in that dowel anyways. All right, so about this time, all the parts came in and I got to putting this thing together. And so I checked the bolt, made sure the bolt was actually cycling correctly. It did. I did have an issue with the trigger guard not fitting, so I had to order another trigger guard. There was also a problem with a screw that would not fit, and I had to order another rear tang screw because it would have cross-threaded. It was just the wrong thread pattern. All right, so this K98k was coming to life. But something I realized was that the rear sight holder that slides onto the barrel, it definitely needed to be blued because it was a shiny metal. I needed to match it. I ended up just getting some cold blue and resorting to the cold blue to blue it. It gave it a nice gray, and it kind of blended in with what was already there with the patina. Now, one of the last things we had to do was mount the front sight. So I brought it to a friend's house, put it in his gun vise, and we mounted the front sight and the front sight post, and we used a little bit of thread locker just to ensure that it would stay in place. So before test firing it, we had to make sure that that bolt headspaced. So in order to headspace a K98k bolt, you need to take off all the components of the bolt. So we stripped all the components off the bolt and just made sure that it was the bolt body. And then we had some 8mm Mauser gauges and we tried it on those, and success! We had a really good headspace. So now it was time to take it to the range. Recording?
All right, recording. 8mm Mauser rebuild.
By this time it was getting a little dark, but we were able to test fire it and made sure that it was hitting the target. Now, It shot really well and the grouping looked pretty good. Now the bore is actually really decent in this K98k. I think if the bore was shot out or if it was corroded, I probably wouldn't have restored this, but because I saw that it was not import marked and that it had a really good bore, I said, hey, this will be a very good historic shooter if I can bring it back to its former glory. I also made sure to give the action a little bit of oil. I used Hops 9 and CLP. If those oils interest you, I've linked them in the description, so go check them out. All right, so the total cost came out to $406.24 as far as parts. Now I paid $100 for the barreled action, so the total cost came out to just over $500, but what I asked in the poll was, how much would it cost to build this barreled action? So, I met the goal of under $500. Well guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe learned a few things. That's how I restored this K98k. Let me know if you would have done something different. If you like this kind of content, be sure to share it with your compadres. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, be sure to learn history and curate history. Make it a great day.